All right, let's jump right in. Today, we're going to talk about something that's super critical for pretty much any business out there, getting every last bit of life out of your IT hardware. You know, the servers, the routers, the switches, all the stuff that basically runs your entire company. Let's get into it. So, let me ask you something. Does it ever feel like your IT budget just vanishes? Like one minute you've got this nice chunk of change set aside for new projects, and the next, poof, it's gone, eaten up by some piece of hardware that decided to die at the worst possible time. It's super frustrating, right? Well, it doesn't have to be that way. And that's exactly what we're here to tackle. We're digging into a really insightful report from an organization called Virtualization Options LLC. They're a technology research and advisory group based out of Colorado, and they've basically created a playbook for how to protect your most critical gear and stop that financial bleeding before it even starts. Okay, first things first. We have to start thinking about this differently. A hardware failure? It's not just some small tech problem. It's a ticking clock. It's a really big business risk. Every single minute your stuff is down, that's money and opportunity just gone. The report from Virtualization Options really nails it right here. It's all about maintaining business continuity and minimizing operational expenses. See, it's not just about saving a little cash on a new server, it's about keeping your entire business running smoothly. It really comes down to a choice. Are you going to be proactive, or are you just going to keep putting out fires? So what exactly are we fighting against here? Well, the report breaks it down into 4 main culprits. You can think of them as the 4 silent killers of your IT equipment. They're sneaky, and they can do a ton of damage before you even know they're there. All right, killer number 1, and this is a big one, overheating. I mean, your servers and your network gear, they generate an incredible amount of heat. And if you're not getting rid of it properly, it's just slowly baking all those delicate components inside. But here's the thing. Your hardware is actually trying to tell you it's in trouble. You know when the fans suddenly get really loud for no reason, or the system randomly reboots, or everything just slows to a crawl? Those aren't just little quirks. They are giant flashing warning signs. And paying attention to them is your absolute first line of defense. Killer number 2 is something we see everywhere. Dust. Yep, just plain old dust and debris. It looks so harmless, right? But in a server room, it is a surprisingly huge threat. So how does it do its damage? Well, it clogs up the fans and the vents, the very things that are supposed to stop our first killer, heat. And if it gets thick enough, it can mess with electrical connections or even cause a short. I'm telling you, a can of compressed air could literally save you from a complete disaster. All right, on to number 3, the invisible enemy, power surges. This could be from a lightning strike miles away or just a hiccup in the power grid. But that sudden jolt of electricity, it can be an instant knockout for your equipment. And the damage is just brutal. It can fry those tiny, sensitive circuits, scramble your data, and slash the lifespan of your hardware, even if it doesn't die right then and there. This is why having stable, clean power isn't a nice to have. For critical gear, it's a must-have, period. And our 4th and final silent killer is mechanical stress. Think of it like a death by 1,000 cuts. It's the little things. Vibrations, a server not racked quite right, or even just messy cables pulling on ports year after year. It all adds up and causes real damage over time. Okay, that was a little doom and gloom, right? We've talked about the killers. Now let's talk about how to fight back. It's time to get on offense with a proactive maintenance playbook. This is where we stop just reacting to disasters and actually start preventing them. What's great about the routine in the report is how simple it is. Each step is a direct counterpunch to one of those killers, right? Control the environment to beat the heat. Keep it clean to fight the dust. Get stable power with things like surge protectors and a UPS. That's an uninterruptible power supply. And then there's step 4, keeping everything updated, which is maybe the most powerful tool you have. Seriously, think about it. Keeping your firmware updated is like giving your hardware superpowers. If it's outdated, it's just a sitting duck for security holes and all sorts of bugs. But updated firmware? It patches those vulnerabilities, makes the whole system more stable, and can even make it run faster. It's such a simple thing to do, but the payoff is huge. All right, let's zoom out a bit. We're moving beyond just cleaning and updating now. This is about playing the long game, thinking about the entire life of your hardware. We're talking about playing chess with your IT assets, not checkers. And here's where the strategy gets really slick: replacing parts before they actually die. The report makes a great point that things like hard drives or cooling fans, they don't last forever. So why wait for one to fail spectacularly in the middle of a busy workday? Instead, you keep an eye on their health and swap them out on your terms. You're in control of the schedule, not the other way around. And this really shows you the whole journey. You see how it all fits together in the hardware's life cycle. You've got the initial purchase, the installation, and then there's this huge critical phase of maintenance, monitoring, and proactive replacement. It's not just some afterthought, it's part of the whole plan, all the way to the very end when you securely decommission it. Thinking this way completely changes how you view your gear. Okay, so you do all this, the cleaning, the monitoring, the planning. It sounds like a lot of work. So what's the real payoff? Why bother? Well, the answer is actually pretty simple, and it's a game changer. It really all boils down to this. First, you save a ton of money by not having to do emergency last-minute replacements. You cut way down on that super expensive downtime. You end up with a network that's just more reliable, which makes everyone's life easier. Heck, you're even helping the environment by creating less e-waste. It's a win-win-win-win for your wallet, your business, your people, and the planet. So I want to leave you with this final thought. Your IT hardware isn't just a box that blinks. It's a massive financial investment. It's a critical business asset. And protecting it isn't just another cost on a spreadsheet. It's one of the smartest things you can do for your business. So the only real question is, are you protecting your investment